Now, Bears versus Titans. First half was really crazy to watch. It was tough to watch. Will Levis, things were going well for him. The run game, Tony Pollard had a pretty good running day. I think they had like 150 yards, rushing, about give or take. Pretty good day against the Bears defense that's really good against the run. So in that aspect, the Bears were struggling, stopping the run. Will Levis was making a couple throws, had that throw to the tight end. And he did the Leland dance. That shit was hilarious in the end zone. I think Tyree Stevenson, that could have been an interception opportunity for him, but he lost track of the ball. And then on the offensive side of the ball, the Bears had no answer for what, the Titans were providing defensively, the schemes. I thought Denard Wilson did a great job, identifying Ryan Bates, Nate Davis. Those guys were rotating at the guard position. Coleman Shelton, let's blitz up in front of his ass. And we saw the result. Coleman Shelton had a really bad day. It was really concerning. And as a Caleb Williams, as a rookie quarterback, it's tough to deal with pressure up the middle. Every time you get the ball, pressure's coming up to your face. You got to make quick decisions. He took that sack. It was like a 15-yard sack. Sebastian Joseph Day sacked him, and that was something we were concerned about happening with, some plays he makes in college. Looking at his tape in college, some of those plays where he, swings around, runs in the backfield, runs around, tries to create a play. A sack like that can't happen. I don't think it will happen again. Obviously, I think he'll learn from that, but that was just a play that I was just like, damn. And me and my brothers in our group chat, we were texting about it. We were like, it looks just as bad as Justin. But it was just really a bad day. Give credit to the Tennessee Titans scheme, what they were doing. The interior defense linemen were taking advantage of the opportunities placed in front of them. A bad offensive line. The guard positions, the center position for the Bears, not the strong suit. Other than Tevin Jenkins, it's really not a strong point for the Bears. And it was a weakness. It was a concern for me heading into this game. But just seeing that first half, I was like, this is getting ugly. And Caleb Williams, the confidence wasn't there. Not making, throws he'll usually make. The gimmies. Keenan Allen, wide open touchdown. That should have been, textbook. You got to have it. But it wasn't there. It was overthrown. One thing I did like about Caleb Williams in this game was his demeanor, the attitude, him on the sideline. You really couldn't tell he was having a bad game, just how he looked. He was happy for the defense when they got going. And he, at the end of the game, he was like, I'm happy to be a Chicago Bear. I will be better. Like, this is not a performance I'm going to have again, type talk. So I was really happy with how he, handled this game and having a bad game like this. So I was really happy with how Caleb Williams handled this. And I also like that, in this game, things aren't going well. He didn't really force things. There wasn't like a interception or a fumble or any of these turnovers that usually happen for us, in late games. And in a game like this where the defense is holding their own, they're doing their job. Offensively, we get the ball and we throw an interception, or we give the ball right back and the defense has to go out there consistently. No, Caleb Williams took care of the ball, did a good job with that in that aspect. So offensively, we have all the talent in the world. I don't think this will happen again. DeAndre Swift, he hurdled the guy. You've seen the talent. It's everywhere on this offense. Offensive line just has to play better. We just have to figure out what the best, group of 5 guys out there is. Whether it's Ryan Bates at center, because Coleman Shelton, oh my fucking God, that's terrible performance by him. Just the footage, the tape looks even worse than it did watching live. Nate Davis, whatever the combination is. Get your 5 best guys out there so we can protect Caleb and allow him to, throw on the run. Don't steer away from the run game. I feel like in this game, we were getting away from the run game. DeAndre Swift had 6 carries for 8 yards. I know the defensive line for the Titans was taking care of business, but still, you can't get away from that run game. Keep trying. Keep trying with them screen passes. Keep trying with the run game. It's going to work, especially with the defense holding their own. Some of those plays, it was working. Velas had a nice little run. Swift had a couple runs that were decent. Khalil Herbert had some tough runs. So just don't give up on it. And I feel like we gave up a little too early on that. But yeah, the weapons we have, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, easily that drop he had in the end zone that could have been a touchdown. Caleb put it right on the money. The guys on this roster are good enough that this isn't going to happen, I don't think. I'm confident in this group. Caleb, I'm confident in him still after this game. It's not oh, yeah, he's a bust. We're like a lot of quarterbacks in the league this week played bad. Caleb Williams, he threw for 93 yards, probably the worst performance yardage wise. But like I said, offense didn't do their job, but we still somehow won this game. So that's a testament for how good this team is. In a game like this, good teams, when things aren't going well for you, you still find a way to win the game. And that's what the Bears did. Special teams, defense, they were the hero of this game. Special teams was flawless. They had a couple, penalties and Velas's, fumble. I still don't get the decision though of putting Velas out there and having Tyler Scott and Roschon as a healthy scratch. I feel like that needs to be addressed. That needs to be answered for the reasoning for that. Velas, obviously, he's shown us time after time. He has that ability to be a good kick returner, but shit like that can't happen. The ball literally was received by the kickoff team. That shit's hard to do with the new kickoff rules. That shouldn't happen. He fumbled it that bad. So that shit can't happen. DeAndre Carter gave us a spark in the return game too. I was really happy to see that. That's why we bring in a guy like that. That's why he made the 53-man roster, because he has that ability to do, make those plays, make those field position changing returns. So really like what I saw from him in the return game. Confident that he could be the guy moving forward, and we steer away from Velas. I still think they'll probably, give Velus Jones carries and opportunities in the backfield. But no, Tyler Scott needs to be out there. I feel like he would have, gave us a little more than Velus gave us. They love Velus in the backfield, so they're probably still going to put him out there. But Roschon too, still questioning that. Defensively, I know the trenches offensive line was bad, but defensive line, I was concerned in that group as well. But Austin Booker, the emergence of him in the preseason, Daniel Hardy, he had the pump block that, changed the game, really. Him and Jonathan Owens combined on that. Jonathan Owens took it to the house. But Daniel Hardy made some plays on the special teams. Great choice, allowing him to make the roster. Dom Robinson, putting him as a healthy scratch instead of Daniel Hardy. I thought that was a good decision by Ryan Poles. I was impressed with this defensive line. Billings, man, he's very underrated. He's a great run stopper, but he was even getting quarterback pressures. A couple plays, he was forcing Will Levis to, throw the ball out early, getting after it. And I really like what I saw from him in this game. Dexter had 2 quarterback pressures, and he had a sack. Thought he was great in this game as well. Darrell Taylor. What a steal. A 6th-round pick to get a guy like that. I was high on that move. But in the first, debut game for him, 2 sacks, 8 tackles, and he was in the backfield a lot. I feel like he was generating a lot of pressure. So that's what we need. If you would have told me we would have got 3 sacks in this game and none of them would have been Montez Sweat, I would have been like, what? You're crazy. Montez Sweat, you some drives you forgot he was out there, and there was still pressure that was, generated. DeMarcus Walker was all over the place. He forced that interception. Tyreek Stevenson, the pick 6. I don't know what Will Levis was doing on that play. Like, Will Levis, he is one of those up and down quarterbacks, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Gardner Minshew type. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I think the Titans will be drafting another quarterback soon. Maybe not this year, next year, but a year after. I don't think he's an answer for them because he's just so up and down. The consistency isn't there. And we saw it in this game against a good defense. 24 straight unanswered points, and a lot of them due to some dumb mistakes he made. Like just throwing the ball up in the air, trying to get it out of bounds when you're going down to the ground. It would have been better to just take the sack. So I was really impressed with this defensive line. Thought they handled business, and now this is a position group I'm confident in. As confident as I am in the linebackers and the secondary. So this defense, they really have the potential to be the best defense in the NFL. I think performance like this, where you could just take over a game and win the game by yourself, 24 straight unanswered points by the defense alone. TJ Edwards had 15 tackles. Tremaine Edmonds had that tackle. Oh my God, that was a beautiful tackle. Following the running back through traffic of the offensive line. Just such a great fucking tackle. And that's why you pay him the bag, a linebacker like that. And TJ Edwards, obviously I think TJ Edwards is better than him, but you have 2 of the best linebackers in the NFL, really. So defensive line, if they could play like this, secondary, Jalen Johnson, he looked good. He got an interception. Stevenson, he had that, mistake where the tight end got the touchdown, but he made up for it for the interception, flew to the ball and took it to the house. And really, that sealed the deal, sealed the victory for the Bears, really. Because who knew if we were going to be able to score a touchdown or get a game-winning field goal? Get in position for a game-winning field goal if it wasn't for the defense, if it just had to be on the offense alone. So really like how this defense took over this game, special teams as well. They easily could have gave up on this one and just been like, offenses, they're not going to be doing shit. We don't want to keep going out here fighting for our lives, holding, this Titans offense that is, what had success in the first half. So really like what I saw from them. Confident in this group. I mean, last year, the last couple weeks, best defense in the NFL against the run, interceptions, turnovers, sacks, all that. We were first. The success last year is carrying over right into week 1. So if they could continue that kind of play for 17 games, a full season, instead of just the last 7 games of the season, we're going to look at the end of the season and be like, this was the best defense in the NFL. I mean, Darrell Taylor, I could see him having 10 sacks. I know right now, 2 sacks in the debut game. I mean, Don Robinson had 2.5 in his first game. But I think just the pressure he's generating and the success he had in Seattle, 9.5 sacks 1 year, 6.5 last year. I think with this defense, with Sweat, with DeMarcus Walker, Booker, all these guys, a lot of guys rotating in, him having fresh legs, he might have an opportunity to get 10 for, the first time in his career. And Sweat, he was a little banged up in this game. I expect him to be back to dominating and stuff. So, yeah, happy with this performance from the defense. Like I said, best defense in the NFL. That could be us this year. Offensively, we're going to get back to it. Talent is there, so I really don't expect to see a performance like this again. And if they do have a performance like this again, these next 3 weeks, you're not going to win against the Texans. You're not going to beat the Colts. You're not going to beat the Rams. All 3 of those teams look good in week 1. Colts, Anthony Richardson, he looked fantastic. All the stuff that people were saying, the preseason, he has a noodle arm, accuracy, all that shit is not there. He's not a good quarterback. He stepped up to the plate. I mean, he threw, he completed 9 passes, threw 19, but still had 200 some yards. Fucking crazy. A bunch of 50, 60-yard bombs. And in the run game, he was active, 40 yards rushing and a touchdown. Texans Colts game was fantastic watch. CJ Stroud, Texans Sunday Night Football this week. That's going to be very interesting. But offensively, we have the talent to compete with the Texans. Defensively, our defense is going to keep us in these games. Just Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Swift, Caleb Williams, we need y'all to show up. But Caleb Williams, it's great to see a rookie quarterback not have to be the reason why we win. I mean, coming in, number 1 overall pick, all this, expectations, next Mahomes and stuff. He doesn't have to be Mahomes for the Bears to win. This is a defense that could carry you to victory. This is a defense, 2006 Bears defense, 1985 Bears defense, a defense that is really fucking good, that can, take a lot of pressure off their quarterback. All Caleb Williams has to do is, hey, give me that Keenan Allen touchdown. Hey, make a couple throws. Don't, put the ball in harm's way. Don't have an interception. Don't fumble. Like, let's, put up some points, get in field goal range, and let's not, have these plays that are losing us a game. And as long as Caleb Williams does that and the defense plays like how they played today, the Bears are going to win a lot of fucking games. So all in all, it was a tough watch early on, but I'm happy with the end result. Really confident in this Bears team. Still confident in Caleb as well. But I would want him to get an extension done with, Keenan Allen. I would want him to stay with the Chicago Bears for maybe 2 or 3 more years because he's coming off his best season last year with the Chargers.